Hi everyone, it's Claire back again. So today I've got a comparison that I've noticed a couple of polishes that seem to look quite similar, and then when I pick them up some of them are actually, they look like dupes, so I want to just double check. Let's start first of all with, this is one of the polishes that I was actually quite impressed with from the China Glaze Paradise collection. I wasn't impressed with many of them, but this was one of them. And it's a really nice, soft, like dusky rose shade. And it's quite a neutral kind of pink, and it's a great formula, unlike those horrible matte formulas that I obviously didn't like. Now in the bottle, because I knew it reminded me of something, but I just couldn't think of what it was, and then I was cleaning my shelves the other day and I noticed this L'Oreal. Now this one I picked up because I was watching a video of Rita Beauty. She doesn't upload very often, but when she does I really enjoy her nail polish videos. And this one is called Jardin de Roses, and I remember her showing this, I think it was probably last summer or maybe even the year before, and I picked it up and it was like, yeah, actually I really like this one. It's very, very similar. It's got like a kind of splash of coral. Yeah, they are very similar pinks. If anything, the China Glaze is just a little bit darker. But I'll come back and do a second. I did a very thick coat there, as you can see on the swatch wheel. It's kind of pooling at the side. So I'll do a second coat on the L'Oreal polish as well. And then next up, it was Debbie actually mentioned when I was doing my Sinful colours and I had real problems deciding whether or not I was going to destash Sinderella. And Debbie in the comments said you do actually have a dupe that she sent me. This is a Clare's polish that Debbie sent me, and the finish is very, very similar. And actually in the camera they do look quite similar, but they are slightly different blues to the eye. But I don't know, let's check. So this first one here is Clare's polish, and it's a scented one, and it's called Blueberry. They've both got these really pretty, like ethereal, opalescent, crushed flakies that give this kind of shimmery. I was just going to say this has got a strange smell, but it is actually obviously scented. It's very blueberry scented. It's very fruity, and I've got a feeling that this is actually probably a better formula than Sinful colours, but let's have a look. I think this is a slightly paler blue in the bottle, but it might be different on the swatch wheel. This is definitely a sheerer formula. It does look quite similar. Yeah, actually they're much more similar on the swatch wheel, but again I think the Clare's does have a better formula, and you can see that pink. I think you can see the pink shimmer a little bit more. Definitely Sinderella is a paler blue, which to me justifies keeping both of them. I know that this is a terrible formula, but I just have a soft spot for it. So we'll come back to those when I've done a second coat. So let's have a look at this last pairing here. This one is Low Maintenance, which was from the Spring China Glaze collection, the Chic Physique collection, and I got the mini set. And I remember swatching this and thinking, yeah, I really like this, this shade. It's a kind of pinky neutral, very sort of Manny Hands kind of shade, and it's not a bad formula. It needs to be built up. It's not that opaque. But that's Low Maintenance, and I thought, again, it just reminds me of something that I think I've already got. So I stumbled across, this is Ciate, that funnily enough this came in a glossy box. I was going to say me box, but I do remember actually this coming in a glossy box. And I was quite impressed with it at the time. But I've got a funny feeling that it's very similar to Low Maintenance. It's a much better formula, and it's a slightly darker shade, but that could be because Low Maintenance needs two coats. This is almost opaque in one coat, So I would say if you were after low maintenance, then maybe have a look for this iced frappe from Ciate. It's a great formula if you're looking for that pinky nude kind of shade. Okay, I'm going to do a second coat on everything and we can come back and take a closer look. So here is a second coat on everything. I didn't actually put a second coat on the China Glaze Can't Sandal this just because I put such a thick coat on. They are very, very similar when I put a second coat on the L'Oreal. And I do prefer this formula, so I'm actually going to destash the L'Oreal. These two here, the blue to me is noticeably different. So the blueberry from Clare's polish is definitely a shade darker. The finish is very similar actually. If anything, the Clare has more of those crushed flakies, but they are very similar. That's Sinderella. It's very delicate, very pretty. I'm keeping them both. These two here are very similar. The low maintenance is a little bit more pink, yeah, and the iced frappe is more of a sort of creamy coffee colour. So I think I'm justified in keeping both of these, but it's time to say goodbye to Jardin of Roses because I just can't justify having two very similar shades like dupes. They are definitely dupes for each other. Yeah, so that's it for now. Let me know if you've got Sinderella, if you've got any dupes, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye!